Hi, so today we're going to talk about using a template and why it's so important. If you're doing nothing but mixing, you should have a mixing template. So over here I have a session that I just opened before I started recording this video. This was recorded over the weekend in a really fancy studio and it sounds pretty good. So they want me to do the mix. I just want to show you why it's a good idea to use a template. Now before I do anything in this track, what I want to do, I want to go to Setup, I/O. So you want to go to the bus tab, and the one thing I want to do is I want to get rid of things I don't need. Look, all these buses, they're not named. So when importing my template, that can actually confuse me. So I don't want that. So what I'm going to do, I want to make sure the last one is selected. I want to scroll the way up to bus 7 and 8, hold down shift, highlight, and I'm going to delete the path. Now these three buses, I know they're being used. We're going to get to those in a second. Now all these outputs I don't need. I'm going to select all these outputs and I'm going to delete them. So all I have is my out 1 and 2, and I have bus 1 through 6 that are currently being used. So I'm going to press OK. Now the reason I'm doing this, I may decide to keep these effects. I like what these effects are doing, so I might decide to keep them. So after cleaning up the buses, I want to get rid of tracks that are not being used. This track here and these other two tracks, I don't need. So I'm going to right click, hide and make inactive. So I'm pretty sure I'm not going to use this master bus, although they have some processing here, but I have my own plugins I want to mix into, so we're going to get rid of this. So I'm going to right click, hide and make inactive. Now I like to do that because you never know. I may want to go back to the plugin. I just don't want to get rid of it. I can always come back here and recall that specific track. We have everything we need. Now it's time to import the template. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight this delay track. The reason I'm doing that, when I import my template, it's going to go right under here. So we're going to go to File, Import, Session Data. As you can see, I have 9 revisions. The reason I do that, the template's always changing. And I don't like to overwrite my template. Just in case, I want to go back to them. So I'm going to select 9, and I'm going to select the things I need. The first thing I need, markers, memory locations, and I'm going to start from my print bus. I'm going to go all the way down. Now remember, we have the reverb, the delays. I want to make sure I don't import mine. So I'm going to go through here. Let's press OK. All right, so the template has imported. Check it out. So I'm going to highlight this track here, which is S18. I'm going to scroll the way up. And I'm going to go all the way to the reverb, and I'm going to bring everything to the top. Then I'm going to select these 3 tracks, and I'm going to go down and put them with the rest of the effects. Actually, right up here. There you go. My template's going to sit right on the top. Now we're going to have to assign these 1 and 2s. I'm going to highlight all the tracks here. I'm going to go to bus and check it out. Everything has a name. It's not confusing. This is a lot better. And if you need another bus, just go to Setup, I/O, Bus tab, go all the way down, New Path, call it whatever you're going to call it. If you're going to use a stereo, just make sure you select this option here, Auto Create Subpath. You don't need to. I like to do it though. And just remember, just properly name it. So now let's talk about my main bus. So over here I have a print bus, I have a rough bus, a sum bus, and a sub master. What I like to do before I start mixing, I like to import the rough mix. So let's do that. So I'm gonna locate the session folder, and I'm gonna look for the WAV file. So this is it, and I'm gonna just drag and I'm gonna drop it right here. Just make sure you have that option within Pro Tools to automatically import the audio file into the session folders. I covered that in the past. I'm not going to show you how to do that. And now I could compare my mix with the rough mix. And here's the nice part about this. All these tracks are going to the sub bus. If we scroll the way up, if I turn on input monitoring, my mix will play. When I take it off, I'm going to listen to the studio mix. So when the time is right and I have to send a revision to the client, here's what I do. Take this off input monitoring. I'll mute this track. I'll come to the print bus, input monitoring, and I'll arm the track. And I start to print. And that's my mix. Very simple. Now, of course, you don't have to do it this way. You want to find something that works for you. So let's get rid of this. Now, when people normally make videos like this, they like to break down every single plugin, every single thing they got going on. I'm not going to do that. Now, if you do want to see a video on the breakdown and settings, yeah, I can do that. So let's talk about plugins. If we look at my Sun bus, I have a high quality meter. Check this out. The plugins that I have are not really important. You can use your own plugins. If we take a look at my compressor, I have a starting point. Every time I import this template, that's the starting point. So let's close this. So let me explain something to you guys. Before I listen back to any audio, I want to go through the Sun bus. Remember, they supplied the rough mix, so I don't have to listen to this. Earlier, I got rid of a master channel that had an SSL plugin and something else. If I remember correctly, I think it's the Fairchild plugin, the Avid version. Never purchased that one, but that's okay. They supplied this audio file, which is going through all those plugins, so I can listen to this whenever I need to. So the final thing, I created these markers. You got the start point, V1, vocal, V2, V3, then you got your hook, hook 1, hook 2, hook 3, and the end. That's it. If I need to add anything, I'll do it. Another thing I like to do, I like to color them. So want to go to preference, always display marker colors. There you go. It's extremely simple. I understand it. I don't want to complicate things. If you want to get rid of a marker, just hold down Alt, go to the marker, and click it. I'm not going to do that because I haven't set this up yet. So I really hope you got something out of this video. If you need to get a hold of me, check the description.